To the internet, they looked unstoppable. The young power couple of YouTube. They were living fast, spending big, and streaming every moment of their perfect life. But behind the smiles, things weren't as balanced as they looked. Jack wasn't just McKinley's boyfriend. He was her business partner, her manager, and her gatekeeper. When every part of your life becomes monetized, it's only a matter of time before your emotions do too. And that time was coming fast. The influencer world was shaken by a chilling and deeply personal two-part podcast featuring McKinley Richardson. Hosted by her close friend Camilla Araujo, this series marked the first time that the OnlyFans star and Jack Doherty's ex-wife publicly opened up about their turbulent and painful relationship. Like most women, McKinley just wanted to be happy. But with Jack, that was impossible. After marriage, he stopped doing any of the things he had promised. His life revolved entirely around creating content. For her, Jack became nothing but a disappointment. The reality began to show itself in the first week of their relationship. One of Jack's friends from his hometown was staying with them. That night, all three went to bed, but McKinley woke up to something terrifying. While Jack was lying beside her, she realized someone was touching her. Panicking, she pushed the man away and tried to wake Jack, but he was too drunk to understand what was happening. The fear and confusion were overwhelming. McKinley said she had never felt so violated or powerless in her life.
He had a hometown friend there that he had known.
Staying with you.
Staying with
in
us.
The house.
In the house.
Okay.
We ended up going to bed. And I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. And I just felt so violated and scared. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me and I'm like trying to tap Jack. And I'm like, Jack. And he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me and he doesn't care. I turned. He just is saying, I'm gonna fuck you right now. And I woke him up and Jack woke up and he was like, I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hump me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking her right now. I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like, he did that to me. Like, and I explained it in detail and he was like, holy shit, I remember. He was like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. He was hugging me. I don't know what conversation they had with him, but from that day forward, I had never seen ever again. Like, Jack fully cut him off. It eventually came out like later on while Jack and I were dating for over a year. He had texted Jack and apologized and said that he was on drugs that night and he was tested positive. And he said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me.
In the early stages of their relationship, Jack seemed perfect. Sweet, attentive, and caring. But that's how many toxic relationships begin. The man does everything to win the woman over. Gifts, dinners, affection, constant validation. And once he owns her, the mask drops. That's exactly what Jack did. Over time, the affection vanished. He became manipulative, controlling, and emotionally poisonous.
Why was I with him? But he wasn't. He was amazing. And I want people to know that, like, I didn't put myself in a toxic situation, but he was so different in the beginning. And I know, like, what people see of him online, like, it's obviously negative and all this stuff, but that wasn't who I fell for. It was not that. It was a protector. It was a provider. It was someone that had respect for me and, you know, just made sure I was okay and opening the car door for me, taking me out to dinner. Very respectful. It couldn't get better.
McKinley later found out that Jack had cheated on her. When she flew from Los Angeles to Miami to confront him, everyone around him already knew. According to her, one of the most unbelievable moments came when Jack tried to justify the cheating by saying, "I thought it was you." Seriously? How can anyone justify betrayal, whether it's physical or emotional? If a woman stays loyal to you, you owe her the same in return.
As everyone wakes up and, like, the girls come to me, even his own friends, everyone that worked for him came up to me and said, listen, Jack hooked up with a girl last night. I don't want you to freak out.
oh yeah, me, I'm not gonna.
Right.
What are you talking about? I just flew across the fucking ocean.
Right. That's what I was really upset. Like my stomach, like I felt like a pit. I was like, damn, bro. But then they were like, but it's okay because he said that he thought it was you. Yeah.
But his reputation drift had started long before. Jack entered the relationship unsure of his own sexual orientation and used McKinley for his own benefit. Because a man who truly loves a woman would never hesitate to introduce her proudly to his parents and say, she's the one.
I'll never forget this time we went to New York to his parents' house. It was like my first time meeting, people close to him, and one of his really close friends that he grew up with, she asked, what are you guys? Are you boyfriend and girlfriend? And that was the first time someone had asked like that question. And I didn't say anything. I looked at Jack and I was like, are we? And he was like, what's the difference? And then I was like, there's a huge difference. I was like, what do you mean? Like the label, I feel like girlfriend and boyfriend, you're exclusive to each other. You're with each other, and like, that's that. And he was like, well, I would never ask you to be my girlfriend. That's gay. And I was like, well,
I would never ask you to be my girlfriend. That's homosexual.
Right. We were laying in bed this one night after we came back from that New York trip, and he was like, remember what my friend brought up about me and you being boyfriend and girlfriend? I was like, yeah. And he was like, is there really a difference? And I was like, I think that there is a difference. And then he was like, well, I always said it was gay when you asked someone to be your girlfriend, but I guess I'll be gay. Do you want to be my girlfriend? That's how he asked me.
One of the strangest things Jack did was refuse to acknowledge McKinley as his official girlfriend until she launched an OnlyFans account and signed a contract. That contract allegedly gave Jack full control over all her social media accounts, a complete obsession with control. McKinley described that period like this.
He said that there's no reason for you guys to be together if you're not helping. And I broke down in tears. I was like, wow. Like, everything that he had said to me, like, oh, I know you're my wife because you don't have one, and getting me to go to dinner and try to get me on OnlyFans, but it didn't work. Now it's an ultimatum. He wanted me, when he realized he didn't have the control over me when it came to other people and like what they could say, he realized that he did need to create an ultimatum for me. We ended up going to bed, and I woke up, and that morning he had a contract in hand and he told me to sign it. I didn't even have the opportunity to talk to my parents about it. I was gonna call my mom because my mom was more comforting, in that situation, because my dad obviously didn't want to talk to him about that at all. But I didn't even have time for that or for any legal representation. He gave me the contract, and he basically just said sign it. I read through it, and I didn't like how it said, he owns all of my social media accounts, because again, I had a following. I had 500,000 followers on TikTok. I had over 100K on Instagram. That was something I had built for years, and that was something that I held very close to me. So I was like, I just want to make sure, like, in this contract, do you actually own all of my accounts, even the ones that I have? And then he was like, no, the contract means nothing. Like, we can change anything, but it's whatever, just sign it. So I signed it. And then first words that came out of his mouth were, you're now Jack Doherty's girlfriend. And that was the day that we had a label. The second I signed to him and gave him, access to my accounts and all of this stuff, the disrespect started showing. Like, he was not as respectful as he was in the beginning. A dinner, you could forget about it. We never went on dates. We never did anything like how we did in the past. He was strictly just, content.
Jack allegedly began controlling everything: the money, the car, even her career choices. He told her buying a car was a bad investment. He refused to let her handle her own finances. Her OnlyFans account became another weapon in the power game. He changed passwords, accessed accounts, made decisions without her consent. McKinley wasn't just losing autonomy, she was losing her identity. Then came the moment that changed everything. At one point in this chaotic relationship, McKinley became pregnant. For her, it was a profound and emotional moment. For Jack, it was a new business opportunity. McKinley revealed that he wasn't excited about becoming a father. He was just waiting for the payday. He allegedly said the baby would blow up the whole family YouTube channel, seeing an innocent life as nothing more than a new revenue stream.
Your pregnant girlfriend, and you think it's funny to blow smoke into my face. So I was already upset at that. We end up getting to the club. I almost passed out. I was overheated. I was like, I should not be here. I need to go home. He's flirting with girls in front of me. He's, making the jokes he does on stream, degrading me, making fun of me, talking about how all these girls are bad and this girl has a fat ass and all these things. So I told him, I was like, I'm leaving. And this is actually on camera as well. I remember telling him, I was like, this isn't right. Like, the fact that you're here right now, like it shouldn't happen. I was really disappointed. So I get in an Uber, he stays at the club. I Uber by myself back home. And I was just bawling my eyes out the entire time. I was like, wow, like this is gonna be my life. I'm gonna have to stay home and take care of our child.
And after everything that happened, when McKinley told Jack she wanted a divorce, his reaction was the textbook definition of a narcissistic meltdown, because soon everything would go public.
It's like there's no other guy in the world that's gonna treat her better than me, because we didn't fight for 2 years. Our biggest fights ever were in the past 2 weeks. It's like that's normal, and now she's crashing out, breaking up with me, calling the cops. Like, that.
After another major fight, McKinley called the police to safely collect her things. But according to her, even with officers present, Jack was aggressive, grabbing, yelling, refusing to let her go. Body cam footage leaked online. Suddenly, the world saw a version of Jack they had never seen before. It wasn't the funny prankster or the confident millionaire. It was someone out of control, and the internet, once his biggest fan base, began to turn on him. That was the end of their story together, but the beginning of something bigger. And in the end, Jack's disrespect level just broke a world record. McKinley's story is genuinely disturbing, and the fact that Jack is still popular despite everything says a lot about the dark side of internet culture, a place where fame and money seem to matter more than basic morality. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into the hidden side of influencer culture, subscribe, because next time, we're uncovering another story that's even darker.